My name is Uptal Patel, and I'm one of the investigators for the Lisinopril study in pediatric adolescents and children who have received kidney transplants. I've been on faculty here at Duke University and work at the Duke Clinical Research Institute, and am a pediatric and adult nephrologist by training. This trial is a study of Lisinopril in two phases. The first part will be understanding ways to dose the drug better, and in the second part we'll be evaluating its effect on blood pressure and to inform longer-term outcomes. The trial is in children and adolescents who received a kidney transplant. High blood pressure is very common in people who've had kidney transplants, and controlling it for the long term is something that we know very little about. And one of the goals is to understand if controlling blood pressure more closely in these children and adolescents is something that will be helpful for them, especially in the long term. Most children and adolescents who survive into adulthood with a kidney transplant are at very high risk for cardiovascular disease as young adults. And so we believe that it's important to evaluate the impact of controlling blood pressure earlier in their lives in order to allow them a greater chance for positive outcomes and general improved health as they get older. So lisinopril is a very commonly used drug for blood pressure, and in adults a variety of other indications like treatment for heart failure, and after heart attacks it seems to help prevent the heart from having more trouble. So it's been used for a long time, but not as long in children. So this will be the first study to evaluate lisinopril in young children, ages 2 to 6. We have very little information on how best to dose the drug in that age group, so this will be very informative for understanding the best way to dose this drug that's commonly used in treatment of hypertension in children and adolescents. We're very excited about starting to begin the startup phase of our study, and we are planning the first patient enrollment hopefully within the next 1 to 2 months, and hope to recruit for about 8 to 12 months and be finished sometime in the third quarter of next year. There are 8 sites currently that we have in through the Pediatric Trials Network, and hopefully we'll be recruiting relatively evenly across those sites. So we did meet with the FDA about this drug and our plans to study it in children and adolescents with a kidney transplant. We'll be getting very good information about optimal dosing in this population that will inform the next phase of the study, which will be a trial to evaluate the safety and efficacy of it, or how well it works and how safe it is actually in this population.